So let me take you on a little journey back in time. We're in season 1 of The Simpsons. Homer's Odyssey's a thing. The world is terrible. This season 1 episode is famous among Simpson fans for being almost universally hated. It is more often than not put at the very bottom of most people's lists when ranking season 1 episodes. I kinda like it. There's some strong ideas and dialogue in places, and you can really get into it if you just ignore Homer being depressed for a solid 6 minutes and attempting suicide to the heckling of his neighbours. Personally, I give the episode points for attempting to take Homer to such a dark place all the way back in season 1 of the show. And I personally find a lot to enjoy from this episode on a whole. Though believe me, I completely get why people find it conceptually off-putting. I mean, that scene when Homer breaks Bart's piggy bank for beer money and having that be the trigger that shows him just how far he has fallen never gets easier to watch. Now with that all said, that's not why we're here, that's not the hot take I have for you today. If it was, the video would be called I Like Homer's Odyssey and No One Else Does, and that's sad. No. The reason we are here today is because I was re-watching season 12 of The Simpsons the other day, and by the other day I mean like 3 months ago, and I noticed something. The episode Hungry Hungry Homer is fucking great. And also it's a little bit like Homer's Odyssey over here. Which got me thinking, is Hungry Hungry Homer, Homer's Odyssey, done right? Both episodes have a focus on Homer finding self-value and achievement in helping induce positive change for the sake of others. Both episodes result in Homer taking on an enemy bigger than himself. In both episodes, Homer succeeds against said enemy, and the episode ends on a feel-good note of a crowd cheering for Homer. Homer's Odyssey's main downfall could be seen in how much it focuses on the lead-up to the motivated Homer plot point that by the time you get to it, the episode doesn't really have much time to dedicate to it properly. We spend the majority of the first act dealing with Bart's school trip and Homer's firing, and then the majority of the second act going through his depression and suicide attempt, that by the time you get to the plot point of Homer finding motivation and creating positive change, the episode's already nearing its third act. This means that while Homer's actions adjust and produce results, they just don't have as much weight to them or feel as earned as they would with more time and narrative dedication. I have a degree, although I do personally find it hilarious that the mission that stopped Homer jumping off the bridge is resolved immediately in the next scene without any conflict. Hungry Hungry Homer, on the other hand, while it starts out with an opening to Blocko World of all places, establishes the plot point of Homer finding motivation and creating positive change within its first 3 minutes, when he goes to get the missing piece for Lisa's Blocko Eiffel Tower. I'm not saying Blocko anymore. Rather than in Homer's Odyssey, where the hows and whys of Homer's actions are more skimmed over, Hungry Hungry Homer showcases Homer's actions with character-true motivations, time dedication, and with hilarious outcomes. This makes all of Homer's achievements feel earned, which helps us as an audience to buy into the realism of just how far Homer will go to expose the owners of the Springfield Isotopes and their secret plan to sell the team. Tell me, in how many episodes could you have Homer undergo a 9-day hunger strike, where he sticks to it without fail, despite many opportunities and temptations presented before him, and have it feel entirely believable and true to the realism of the character? The climax of both episodes has Homer confront the enemy. In Homer's Odyssey, it's Mr. Burns. And while I personally really enjoy this scene, especially for its dialogue, I can't help but shake off the feeling that it feels like we're in a bit of a race to the finish here. And that Homer's victory against Burns, while justified, feels achieved just a little bit too easily. I mean, is it even really a victory? I mean, the episode treats it like it's a victory, isn't really a victory. We'll get to that in a minute. In Hungry Hungry Homer, the enemy is Duff Boss! And instead of outright confronting him, is at first defeated, before being presented a reminder of his motivation and goal. It is through this that Homer is able to regain strength and call out his enemy in front of a crowd that Homer has won over with his dedication, sacrifice, and his heart. Homer does win the crowd over in Homer's Odyssey, but the outcome is more due to Homer managing to word very well that he's essentially compromising for a win today and silence tomorrow. Hungry Hungry Homer gives Homer this victory without compromise, and his final moments on screen are him running around the stadium, breaking his fast after completion, and basking in his victory, almost mirroring the crowd cheering and carrying Homer off at the end of Homer's Odyssey, but this time with far more substance and a much longer and harder fought journey. While I am one of the seemingly few who gets a lot of enjoyment out of Homer's Odyssey, I can't deny that Hungry Hungry Homer feels like an almost identical plot point done better in almost every regard. More substance, more time dedication, more character growth, more laughs, more payoff, and once again more heart. It is by far my favourite episode of season 12, and I would highly recommend it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're one of the chosen few who finds a lot to love in Homer's Odyssey, please join me. The table's feeling kind of empty over here, people are staring. Goodbye, and I'll see you at some point.
Bart's people just think our veterans deserve a little recognition. If I'm guilty of anything, maybe it's caring too much. I'm Bart Simpson.